G'day everybody, how are we all today? I'm Jason,
Julia,
and today we've got a special guest tonight, and it's
Michelle from Dusty Doors Paranormal. Welcome, Michelle.
How's all going?
Hope everyone's had a good week. Sorry if anyone's confused about the daylight savings time. We're just as confused. So I just wanted to say, Michelle, would you like to just talk about yourself and how you started your team?
Oh, okay. I've been researching the paranormal since I was about 15. Sorry about that. That's my dog in the background there.
We've got a couple of cats behind us.
No, anywhere I go, he goes, get off. And so
hello, Jason.
What a good start. I've been doing it since I was about 15, and so what happened was I lost my brother when he was 10 and I was 15 years old, and things started happening around the house which just literally piqued my interest. And since then I've just researched, trying to find answers on the other side. Why is this happening? And the more I got into it, the deeper I got. So, and then in 2016 I decided to start a team. And we started off as Nunahai Shadow Seekers, and no one could ever spell Nunahai. Spud. And sorry. And so I've had a few members come and go. A lot cannot handle the paranormal and what goes on in the paranormal. And we just went from Nunahai Shadow Seekers, and I opened up a tour business, and I called ourselves Hauntable Ghost Tours. And then, I went from that to Dusty Doors Paranormal. So the name changes it because of the changes in people as well. And I wanted something more simple, more for our area. As we all know, Central Queensland is quite a dusty place. And so I thought Dusty Doors Paranormal. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hello to the dog.
That's fun. I am so sorry.
Hello to your dog.
I am so sorry. I just feel so embarrassed.
No, don't be sorry. It's good.
It's cool. We like to be natural on this show and just be ourselves. There's no airs and graces. We are who we are. We're Sydney Bogans. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're the country Bogans up here in CQ.
So tell us about some of the haunted places that you have up there. What's your favourite?
Oh, look, I have many a favourite. Mine is actually a place up here called Mount Morgan, and it's an old gold mining town from the mid to early 1800s. And he's on my desk, and I won't be able to get him off. And we get a lot of, because our culture up here started as a multicultural society way back in the 1850s. He's going to come across this screen. I've got to move him. Sorry, everyone, but he's doing my head.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Terry. Hi, Stephen.
Oh, my God. Just stay this. But he's an Aussie bulldog, so they've got a mind of their own.
He's so cute. I love him.
Oh, he's a pain in the bum, but anyway. So because Rockhampton started as a multicultural society, we had many people, the Italians, the Chinese, we had Scottish, Irish, we had everything going on here. So right from the beginning, we've had just Rockhampton was known as a place of, I think it was sin, sweat and sorrow or something like that. And because there was a lot of murders over gold up here, that's what kicked us off. Thank you to Mount Morgan. And, it just expanded from there. And then we became a massive port, and we were getting visitors. And we've had a lot of great politicians come out of Rockhampton way back in the day. And then there was a massive fight over who was going to be the capital of Queensland, and Rockhampton wanted it, and then Brisbane got it. So because they had a bigger port than what we did and easier access, that was pretty much the only reason. And then, everything just exploded from there. We have prostitution lanes, and where the pros used to hang out. The ladies of the night used to hang out, and if they were diseased or anything like that and they dropped dead, they were literally buried where they stood. So there's one laneway down here. You walk down, you can still feel them. Certain parts of the night, you'll see a lady in the white come down the laneway and disappear into another door that doesn't exist anymore. And we've got the Criterion Hotel. Maria Parker haunts that place supposedly, but I've done investigations there and done tours, and I can tell right now there's more than Maria in that building. I did the Lakes Creek Hotel in Rockhampton as well. That place, my Lord. even people, I was booked out every tour, every weekend, 20 on a tour each, and there was nothing that would not happen. It was just constant. And Mount Morgan, you just got to walk down the main drag and you feel them. It's just an amazing, amazing place up here. It really is for anyone who's interested in the paranormal. Just goes off.
I've got a question for you already. On the road Australia, I'll just bring it up for you. Why are you called Dusty Doors?
Well, you got to think we live in CQ and nearly everything up here is dusty because of the dry and the drought. But also up here, I've noticed every time we go to a haunted location, there's always that dusty door that you've got to touch to open. And it was just, you get the dirt and the dust, and it's like, you know what, I might as well call us Dusty Doors because it's always that. There's never a door here that's spotlessly clean. So that's why we call ourselves Dusty Doors. And it's bogan, so I love it.
I love it. It's really unique. I like it. You know, because everybody has their own spin on some paranormal that Dusty Doors you don't hear of, and it's just, it's unique. It's so easy. I love it.
I know, right? That's what I thought too, and that's why I call this hauntable ghost tours, because Rockhampton's known for its bulls. You drive into Rocky, there's a bull. You drive around Rocky, there's another 20, 30 bulls. You know, so I thought, how are we going to incorporate it?
You see a bull as you come off the highway, as you turn up right, you've got the big bull right in the middle.
Yeah, welcome to Rockhampton. Yeah. But have you ever noticed that balls are missing? Anyway, we won't go there.
Yeah,
so,
I did. And I'm going, is that a cow? They're missing parts because that's where my stepbrother lives in Rockhampton, and that's how I know about it. And I drive in there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, is that a bull? And I'm looking at it, and I said, I swear it's a cow. It's missing. It's got parts missing.
Look, we in Rockhampton we're a unique bunch of people up here. Like, honestly, even when it's breast cancer week, we stick this massive pink bra on a bull. And that's the one as you're driving into town. So, yeah, we do have our uniqueness up here about us, but it makes people laugh. You know, we try to embrace everything we possibly can, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So will you be doing the tours again once COVID's over? Or?
Most definitely. That's what stopped us in the beginning. We were going like hell at gate when it first happened. And then COVID did hit us. And because I do a lot of my tours in the old pubs around here, that was the issue, because when they closed down, we had to shut down. So it was like this massive ripple effect for everybody. And since then, it's been hard to get businesses up and going due to the fact that we don't have that tourism side of coming back through. So we've shut down for a little bit, and hoping to open in probably 2022, because, it killed us. It killed everybody. I'm just trying to keep myself going, you know, with little dribs and drabs here and there. I'm trying to help people when they ask questions over the phone and stuff like that, or if I can get to their homes and do it as well. But hopefully I've got a couple of locations I'm sourcing at the moment. That's the hardest part about what we do, is just sourcing and getting permissions for a Halloween tour here. And those fundraisers, the money that's for those tickets, I'm dedicating to a fundraiser here in Rockhampton. There's a young boy here who, his name's Cooper, and he suffers, I've got to remember now, it's quadriplegic, it's one massive diagnosis. Anyway, I'll have to tell you about it. And poor little bugger, he's they're in need of one of those vans that they deck out with the wheelchair access at the back. They're not even too sure if he can even see because he can't speak, so he's like a multiple sclerosis sort of crossed with everything else. And we're trying to help the family, because they're only a young family, they're all under the age of 30, to get them that van to make their life a little bit easier. So all the money from the tickets will be going directly to them to help with the cause. That's what I believe. Doing what we do, we serve the community. So anything we do, I'd like to do it towards something like a fundraiser. The money doesn't come back to us. It goes to the location, whoever I choose for fundraising.
Yeah, most definitely. We're happy to post the link under the video on the channel and also on the Jason Ghosthunter page. Hopefully
that'd be lovely.
Listeners can maybe donate to the family, to the wheelchair. I'm a disability worker, so you know, I do this every day of my life, and work with mental health and that. So I know how hard their struggles are, especially have a grandson with a disability as well. So my heart goes out to them.
Yeah, I'm the same. I have my older brother's intellectually handicapped. My mum has dementia and my father's got Parkinson's, so I've actually moved back home to look after them as well. And at the same time, do an apprenticeship as a barber and try to run my hauntable. So it's a massive, big thing, but it keeps my mind going, like I don't want to go stale, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm constantly on the go.
No, well, you probably needed the time out for some reason. Everything
Yeah,
happens for a reason. That's the way I look at it.
yeah.
And, obviously next year's going to be bigger and better things to come.
Hope
So maybe
so.
you need this break for now.
Well, it's good. It gives me a chance. I make my own equipment as well, so it's not hard to make, like RAM pods and motion detector bears. Like I'm in the middle of doing one that looks like a horse. I want to do a horse one for children. So I do a lot of that on my own as well. So it keeps me busy when times are slow here.
Cool.
Here's something Steve just put this up. There used to be a hobby of going around turning bulls into bulldogs.
That's correct. Yes. I think it was what I do recall from the rumors I've heard, it was some sort of initiation with the universities. They used to get the initiation fellows out there and they would go and remove the balls off the bulls. You know how hard that is to say? As an initiation process. And so I believe the council has come through and put some Rio back into the balls and put the balls back on so they can't easily be lobbied off, So yeah, he is right. He is definitely correct, yes.
So before you do an investigation, do you do any protection before you go in, or what do you do?
We all, because we all do different things, we all believe in different aspects of the paranormal. We all have our own ways of protection. Like I literally, sounds silly to me, but I take a photo of my grandfather, my pop, because even in death, he passed before I was born. He always wanted a granddaughter, and I've actually spoken to him, and he's quite Scottish. So when he comes through, he's got that real deep Scottish accent about him. So I use him as my protection. I call upon him to watch out for me. But my other 4 team members, sorry, two are into paganism. One is I cannot describe this. So I have Tracy, Nick, Tristan, and Haley. And Tracy's, we call her the mother hen of the group. She's always provides the chocolates and the waters. And are you okay? We should get something to eat before anything. The mum of us. Where meanwhile, I'm just gung-ho straight into it. So I'm all excited. And she does the whole, I'd have to say, witchcrafty side of things. Nick is, he believes he's the fairy man. So he believes in the fairies and, magic and stuff. Tristan, he is very into he's actually getting in touch with his Indigenous side at the moment. So we're going to have that cultural aspect in there too once he gets more of an understanding of his own culture and learns more about it, which I think is fascinating. And Haley, she's more of the empath, so she feels a lot. I can take her into a situation, and as soon as there's anything around of an entity, it looks like she's bawling her eyes out, but that's her indication that something's there. She suddenly gets a well up, yet she's not crying. She just starts tearing up. And so we have different, how can I put it? We all believe in different... Yeah, but we all work well together. It just brings us all together in one good unit, So and the spirits love talking to us for some reason. So maybe it's the votism, maybe.
Have you ever been told off by a spirit?
Oh, you have no idea. I've been called some really nasty names, hey. But you know what? I'm not going to repeat those names here, but one of my boys, he got called a Nancy boy.
Ooh.
And the thing was, if you remember back in the day, there was actually a town called Nancy Boy. And so it makes me wonder, is some of this maybe look, I'm a big believer in reincarnation and everything. Maybe a spirit recognized his energy from another time. We don't know. And yeah, it was just, I've been called a bitch. I've been called, oh my God, there's so many. And even old school names like Mole. I haven't used Mole since the 90s when I was at high school, for God's sake. So it's just like, wow, I've been called many names. Everyone has, and you just take it on the chin, and just, I usually say, oh, there's no need to call me that. What do I do to offend you? And half the time it's just I just don't want you there. But I just keep going, and then eventually I just go, oh, for God's sake, let's just talk to her so I can get rid of her. And that's what happens all the time.
It's funny,
I love it.
When you're out on an investigation, you expect them, to be really polite to you and say hello. But when you walk into an area, you actually get told to get out, F off.
Yep.
What are you doing here? And you go, but I'm just come to say hello. And they just abuse you. And you're thinking, I thought they were meant to be happy.
Yeah, but you'll always get that one. You always get that one that won't shut up. Like I was doing tours at the Central Queensland Military Museum here in Rockhampton. Now, because they've got many different buildings out there, and they have one building where everyone donates everything, and it hasn't even been catalogued to put into the museum yet. So you can imagine the energy all just squashed into this one building. Then you have the museum. Well, we went into an investigation before we started doing tours. And Tracy and I, we were in this part of the exhibit. We didn't realise it was pitch black. There was the nurses section on one side of the hallway, and then the Turkish soldiers section on the opposite side. Now we're walking through there, and all of a sudden both of us just stopped, and we were overwhelmed. Who remembers mercurochrome? That Mum used to slap on you like it was just like gold. Yeah, and you just go play again. Well, anyway, we were overcome by the smell of mercurochrome, and we looked at each other, and we're like, "Can you smell mercurochrome?" And she's like, "Yes." I said, "Me too." Then all of a sudden, Tracy's like standing there, and she's got all goosebumpy, and it just went white for a second. I said, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "There's someone right behind me." Now I'm facing her and I couldn't see it. And I went, "Oh, righto." But at this point we had our EVP going. We thought, "Oh, righto." Well, she just crapped, face went white. She done a bit of a moan sound, like whoever it was right here. Anyway, we turned the EVP back on to have a bit of a listen. And we got this really strange, it sounded just like this. It went, "Hello." And we're like, "Who the hell is that?" And it was so loud. There was no one else in there with us. And it was a male voice going, "Hello." So we're Googling. We tried to Google to figure out which bloody lingo it was. We ended up finding out it was Turkish. And over the course of the tours, we ended up getting a name, and his name was Gustav. And he had a thing for breasts. So the bigger the breast, the more you got picked on tours. And we had a couple of women that would come in with a voluptuous set, right? A couple of Dolly Partons would walk in for the tours, and all during the night they'd be like, "There's someone touching my breasts." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's just Gustav, don't worry about it." So, even in spirit, he was getting his rocks off. I was like so proud of him. But we had a lot of things happen. We did table tipping sessions. We did a lot of experiments to show them how to use their senses, turning ones off to allow others to come through. And I'd always say to them, just remember, you're not going to see a damn ghost. Like, I've had that many people come up to me, they're like, "If I don't see a ghost tonight, I'm going to give you a bad review." And I said, "Well, you might as well just take your money back and leave the premises, because it's not going to happen. It's what you put in, you get out of it. So if you allow yourself to be open to the elements, it's going to happen." And we had a lot going on. Smells. We had, there was one room, it had all these old photos of soldiers just leaning up against the wall, like this way. And one of my fellows was standing directly opposite. Now, for some reason, there was no one around him. The whole bunch went from this angle and swung, and it smacked him on the back of the legs. There was no one there to move it. So we do get a lot of different things happening here and there, but that's what keeps it going. That's what piques our interest. It's like, okay, we would search through those photos and find out who the names were, and then try to go back and communicate to find out what if someone's photo was in there that wanted to talk to us and we didn't pick it. So that's what we do. It's just this massive thinking, mental drainage. You're just bugging at the end of it, but it's worth every single hour, minute, second, just to bring their story forward. It's amazing.
If anybody's got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Our little mate there, Michelle, she'll answer any questions.
Try my best.
And I want to say a special hello to Dark Water. I did notice you come up. I just didn't want to be rude and butt in and say hi. So hi, buddy. Hope you're well this week.
And if anybody wants to get a hold of you for your tours, how would they get a hold of you? Like through like your Facebook page of your
Yeah, just
paranormal
jump
stuff?
on Dusty Doors.
Tell them how to get
Yep,
on it?
Dusty Doors. Yeah, just Dusty Doors Paranormal page on Facebook. Jump on there, join the page. It is a boring page because I don't tend to put up many posts. Only when there's a tour on, or if I'm doing an investigation, I might need 3 people. I'll offer it and say, whoever wants to come along, it's on this date, this time, be there at this time, first in, best dressed. So the first 3 names that come up, you're in. Tours are advertised on there as well. I do get people, I love people posting on there, so if they have photos and they want to see, I like to see the communication between people like skeptics and believers and see their comments on people's photos. So it's a page where you're allowed to freely put your stuff up there and just be open to criticism. Just don't be offended, because a lot of us up here, we're a quite straightforward bunch. We'll tell you what we think's crap and what's real. But so that's who we are. So I invite people to come along, jump on the page. It's nothing serious. It's fun, and it's just an open forum to allow you to show your stuff without feeling judged. So that's what we do. And if people have hauntings of any sort around the area, get on there, tell me about it, even PM me, and I will contact you. Yeah.
100%.
Do you find that Mount Morgan's highly active due to the gold content in the earth? So we find that a lot of towns that have minerals in the soil, like crystal gold, anything like that,
It could have a lot to do with it.
tends
I believe so. It could have a lot to do with it, because we all know minerals, whether it's quartz crystals, amethyst, gold, lead, zinc, anything harnesses a lot of energy. And being gold, I always thought silver was more the spiritual, what do they call it? I can't even think. The spiritual element. Yeah, so I always thought silver was what it was. Gold wasn't. But when you think about it, you put it into a town, I'd have to agree with you there. This, like I said, Mount Morgan, it's just got so much. I've even found this quartz laying on the ground, for God's sake. I've picked up an amethyst just straight off the ground. It sits in my hand, and it's just right there. And so even around the cemetery there, you walk in there, it's like walking into a totally different world. It's just different. It's very, very different. I've travelled as far out as Blackwater to the west as well, because Blackwater's supposed to have been one of the most haunted cemeteries in Queensland. So I went out there and tested myself out. And we got a lot of hits out there. The weird part about Blackwater is it's different to any other cemetery I've been to. We had more focus on the animals. Like, we were there was not a bird in sight. As soon as we turned up, eagles everywhere, like literally everywhere. And I've never had anything like that happen to me before. And they were literally circling the cemetery that we were in, just constant for hours and hours. And I'm like, what's going on? Just eagles. I just thought, okay, unless they're really bloody hungry, I look like a snack.
No, I wonder if they have some sort of totem animal meaning or something.
Yeah, that's what it's got me curious. I always thought Indian culture, especially the Western Indians, it was about travel or you're moving forward or something, but I've never seen anything like that. Even all of us were stunned by it. We're like, why are they circling us? So it's...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's a
You're right.
video. The Native Americans believe that they're kind of the ancestors, their guides.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something like that.
But that was one cemetery I learned a major lesson on what you eat before you go on investigation. Watch what you eat. We were there, and because Blackwater's only, I pretty much was raised in Blackwater. We call it the B town. It's a coal mining town. It's about 240 or 70 k's west of Rockhampton. And the only little place we can get anything to eat was friggin' Red Rooster. Now, we all know what Red Rooster does after a few hours. You're literally having farting competitions or whatever. And I just happened to be at the cemetery, and I had the, I can't even tell you this story. I had the PSP 11 going on the ground, and Nick had the camera going. So he's recording everything and stuffing around with that. And then I was playing with some equipment to get it all set up so we can start the investigation. And all of a sudden, I had to let this earth-shattering ripper go. And it was so loud, even I scared myself. I couldn't believe how big it was. And Nick's all of a sudden through the PSB7, we actually had a male spirit come through, and all he said was, "She farted," and we captured it on camera. Yeah. So we got recognised by spirit for dropping my gum. So we are that group that when we do things, it's quite, we're relaxed as hell, you know, like we don't. I know, right? And
That's hilarious. I love it.
I have to share with you that footage one day. We go. Stop laughing! It makes me laugh. We try not to.
Oh, it's just the best story I've ever heard.
We try not to be that overly serious, built for TV sort of crew. We have more bloopers in a night than what you could ever count on one hand. And we have fun because we think having fun with spirit brings them forward. Like you guys are laughing now, so you can imagine what they would have all been doing when I farted so loudly. And even I was surprised how much wind come out of me. I was blown away by it.
Just imagining what the spirits thought.
Oh, this is live, by the way, guys. If you have to, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and like the video and share, please.
Oh, they're the stories I love, though, because they're just so, you know, when Jason and I started dating, we had a similar story. We went out to some cemetery in the middle of nowhere because that's what I love to do, go to cemeteries. And anyway, so we're just walking around, and I was looking at one grave. It was like 8, 9 years old, but the ground hadn't settled. And I thought, this is really odd. Like, it's an odd-looking shaped grave. So I'm looking at it really intently. He's let one off, but it sounded like some inhuman squeal. And so I bloody bolted. I've just grabbed his hand and said, "We've got to go." And he goes, "Why? What's going on?" And
Oh,
said,
no.
"Did you hear that?" And he goes, "That was me."
Oh,
went,
no.
I thought it was going to come out of the ground and come and grab me.
I would have said it was some wild bird in the tree or something. You know, I wouldn't have taken the blame on that.
Just dragging me off to the car. I'm like, what are we waiting for?
We're practically doing a hurdle over the fence.
Oh, no.
Sticking around to find out what made that noise.
Oh, no. Yeah, we've had a lot of bloopers, hey. Like I said, we make it fun because the fun element has to be in there. Like if I am dead, for example, and I had these investigators coming in and wanted to talk to me, and they're all being serious and stuff, I'll be going, what the fuck is wrong with these people? You know, like I would want someone to come in there and have a laugh, you know, take the piss out of each other because then I'd want to communicate. Like on my tours, my very first thing I say to people on my tours, it's one of my tours have been successful, was you know, I always ask the question, who's had steak, pizza, KFC, Red Rooster, Macca's? Raise your hand, and they all look at you with big wide eyes, and you say, because lights are going to be off, we're going to be in darkness, so if you silently fart and it smells like egg, we're going to think it's a demon. If you fart loud, we're going to think it's a growl. So the code word is toot. So if someone's going to do anything, whether it's a stomach growl, a burp, a fart, I always say, you just got to say toot, and you don't need to admit it was you. Just go toot quickly. It's a quick word, because at the end of the day, it is shocking when someone doesn't say anything and you're doing an EVP session and someone does like a silent fart. You will hear it. When you play,
voice recorder, yeah.
Yes.
you will hear it. A belly growl, you will hear it, and then you're like, was that a growl? Or did someone fart? Was there wind in there? You know, like it's really hard on tours because you literally have to try to debunk that noise. Like, who farted? You know, and you always hear that toot. Even if it's a whisper, you'll hear a toot. It's like, oh yeah, that was gas. Someone farted.
Or if they haven't eaten, you hear this
tummy
growl, and you're going, okay, who hasn't eaten? And it'd be still night, and you just hear this little grumble of it, and you're going, you know, you're looking at each other and going, oh, I know I've eaten, you know, but who hasn't?
Yeah. And when there's 20 people, it's like playing Guess Who. You're knocking down their heads trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love it because the entertainment is there as well. Even on tours, we're we're very, how can I put it? You're safe with us. We do watch. We have eyes on us like hawks, but we also want to make it fun. We don't want people to walk in there with anxiety through the roof, crap in their pants. We want to come in and feel relaxed, because as soon as they walk in, we do an initial sit down, have a chat, and all of them look like they've got eyes in front of headlights with kangaroos, man. They just sit there bug-eyed looking at you. It's like, you need to breathe, you know? It's all shit themselves. And it's like, you have no reason to crap unless I put you in a situation that you're not going to be comfortable in, but that's another story. And, you know, so I do test individuals, but because it's an experience, I want them to feel what we feel when we go into a situation we know nothing about. And I've been, you know, some of the situations I've been in, I have literally, I'll be honest, I've had my arsehole banging on my tonsils, hey, because I just want to get the hell out of there. But you've got to fight that fear and just stand there and go, I got this, I can do this. And then, yeah, when things happen, like I have been scratched, I have been bitten, I have been pushed. And people think, oh, what a load of crap. And the next minute it's happened to them. I had a few people on tour be scratched. And they're like, oh, my God, my arm's hurting. And then you're actually seeing it appear. And I've seen one lady, I felt so sorry for her. She was, I wouldn't say, I don't know how to say this, slim, wasn't slim. And we're coming down the steps. And I warned them all. I said, because there was something that happened on these steps years and years and years ago. I said, stick to the walls. Don't walk down the middle without being supported, because you will feel like you're on a ship. She didn't stick to the walls, and you actually heard the thud on the back of her shoulder, and she got pushed down the stairs. Yeah. And she got up. She's pissed herself laughing. I'm like, oh, go the bogan. You know, she thought it was hilarious. You know, so.
I gotta admit, I would love to do one of your tours. It sounds like I'd have just an awesome night, because I love those kind of relaxed nights where you can just be yourself and, you know.
I don't want people to fear the paranormal. Like, there's so much bullshit. I'm so sorry to say, but there is. Just keep it simple. Keep the KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. It's not that hard. It's, you know, where you got all this crap about, oh, every single place on Ghost is a demon. Yeah, you're the demon, mate, because there's not a demon here. You know, or it's all about the negativity. It's all about the oppression. It's like, not every place is oppressive. You might have a spirit that just wants to be there because they love the place. They grew up there. Their best memories are there. And you just want to talk to them and ask them how their life was. You know, and we like to see the positive in situations. And if someone says, oh, it's a negative situation, let me figure that out first, you know, before you tell me. Because half the time it's not right, it's incorrect.
Felicity Dragon said when they open up, when allowed, she's going to be on that tour.
Sounds like fun. Yes, definitely. Well,
yeah, I suppose down at a party.
Queensland in May next year, so hopefully you got your tours running and we can go to them, because we'd love to.
Oh, look, if you
on your tours, have you ever turned around, like I've done it a couple of times, and to the people who would, sometimes I take people out with me, they go, who wants to be my guinea pig tonight? And you get them all sitting down, they all looking at each other, and you find the biggest guy or the biggest person there go, you look big enough, you come with me, you know. I said, come on, no way, just come with me. And you get them out in the middle of nowhere where you know hell's going to break loose on them. You go, I want you to sit here, give you a voice recorder, and I want you to ask questions. Just be yourself. And all you hear on the voice recorder is, hello, is there anybody here? And they're the biggest person in the group.
Yeah, I know. I've had that. When I first started doing The Cry, I was like, how am I going to control this crowd? And I had a bunch of, about 4 or 5 of them. And part of the ruling was don't drink before a tour.
Yes.
Because we all know how alcohol affects yourselves, right?
Yep.
Anyway, these fellas didn't listen. Even after signing the waiver, they didn't listen. So this guy got a bit giggly through the tour, you know, one of those man sort of men. And I'm like, he's really starting to piss me off. And there was one part of the Criterion where there's a staircase that goes nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So this night, it was the best. You will love this. This night, I had Channel 7. They were filming the whole tour, right? They only were supposed to be there to do an interview. Ended up filming this whole tour. And this guy was just, being Mr. Happy, as I called him. And then afterwards, I called him Shitty Smurf because he was crapping his pants. Anyway, so I said to him, you. And he looked at me. I went, you're going to be my bait right now. And he goes, bait? And I said, yeah, come with me. And you could see it instantly. He just went white, like, oh, crap, where am I going? And his mates just instantly shut up. So I took him down and I unlocked this door. I opened up the door. I said, this is the voice recorder. This is how you use it. Explain this to everything. I said, I want you to go down there and I want you to get me some really good EVPs. And he's like, what, by myself? I said, yeah, and I'm going to lock the door behind you. And he thought I was joking. So I went down the stairs. I shut the door, locked it behind him. And next minute, I said, when you're ready, knock when you're ready to come out. And I could swear to God, he was in there 2 minutes. I'm hearing this like this on the door from the inside. And I'm like, are you right, mate? He's like, yeah, I'm done. So I've unlocked the door, and as I've unlocked it to open the door, Channel 7's right here with the camera. As soon as I've opened the door, he's around the corner of the camera in this fella's face, like, boom. And you can see him going, what the fuck? I said, so how'd you go? And he's like, the camera, his face, that nervous beady sweat popped up on his face. He's like, yeah, it was all right. And you could see that he was scared shitless. But then when I played the EVP back, I could see why, because I've been down there and there is a male spirit down there. And I played the EVP back and you hear him going, is there anyone here with me? Like that real quiet, like I'm shitting myself. Sort of. And you hear this, hey, come through the EVP. Now I can see why he shit himself, because he would have heard it. It was one of those ones you would have heard. And he was bang, 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 bang on the door. It's the only question I got. It was pretty quiet after that.
I always find they always go from being really noisy to being the most quietest person. And you don't hear nothing. You've got to keep checking on them going, are you okay over there?
Yeah, are you alive? Yeah. I've had a few like that. And then they just go timid as a mouse. It's like, I'm just going to sit here and shut up. And I've had ones that I've left halfway through. You know how you hear about a lot of incidences where people get sick. They suddenly get really, it's like a cool night. It's not hot, it's not cold. It's really nice and refreshing. And then all of a sudden they break down a cold, clammy sweat. They're feeling nauseous. And I say to people, if you do start to feel like that even during one of my tours, fucking tell me. Do not just stand there and go, oh, must be menopause. Like, sweetheart, you're 25. Get the hell out of the room. And then my staff, the boys, will just grab her, take her out. And as soon as you take her outside, she's still like that. It's like, you've got to get off the premises. We've got to get her out of the property line. And then after that, they're fine. But you know what the worst part is? They don't come back. They're like, yeah, no, I've had enough of that. I'm just going to go.
Yeah, I've had that done to me. I've taken people into tunnels. And I'm very observative when I've got people with me, as you know. And as I'm standing there, this guy was talking, but he just went quiet. Oh, man, I'm going, hey, mate, are you okay? No answer. So I yelled out, hey, buddy, and I put the torch on him, and I said, are you okay? Oh, yeah, something touched me on the neck. And I went, okay. He goes, I said, we'll go out for a smoke, have a break, just get him outside to calm him down. Got him out of the tunnel. As soon as he landed a foot outside that tunnel, he legged it up to his car. I'm still down in front of the tunnel, left everybody behind, jumped in his car and just burned it out of there. And I went, what happened? And then I eventually got a hold of him. I said, what happened? He goes, I felt somebody ran their fingers all the way down my neck, and then it felt like they were grabbing him from behind, because he was going, I don't believe anything, and he'd been a bit loud. And then suddenly he just went dead quiet, and I thought that was odd. And then when I got him outside, mate, that's when he left, and he told me what happened. I went, well, that'll teach you a lesson. And he goes, I'm never going back on tour again.
I have one bolt on me too, and the worst part, the whole group saw it. So he went into where the uncatalogued items were, and he was only in there, like the tour had just started, so he's only been in there, half an hour. Mm-hmm. And next minute, we looked out, and it was like watching the Black Flash. He was out of the thing, ran straight past us. We're all going, what the hell's going on here? Got in his car and took off. And I was like, oh, he'll be back. Doesn't look like he's coming back. So And I had to ring him to say, are you okay? What happened last night? And here was something free. He wouldn't talk about it. He just said, I don't ever go back in that building again. So I don't know what happened inside that building to him. To this day, I still don't. But there was, even I know in that building, there was footsteps. You'd hear things moving around, voices. And it's just all because the energy in there from all this stuff, and it was just absolutely amazing place. But I've had one at Lakes Creek. Here's one for you. I can't remember. I think they called the Cinderella Experiment, where they put the Cinderella or the Wonderland Experiment, where they put the blindfold over you, the noise cancelling earphones, and you're listening through the white noise generator. Anywho, Nick was doing that for me one night, and this is at the Lakes Creek Hotel, and I was talking to all the guests, and we were sitting upstairs, right above the staircase. So the staircase is directly behind me. And I'm telling him, I'm explaining this experiment, how it works, what it does, and blah, blah, blah. And out of the blue, I hadn't even asked any questions. Now, Nick couldn't hear me. And he turned around and goes, hello. And I just stopped. I looked down and went, oh, g'day. And then he went, hi. And I went, hi. And then there was nothing. And then you heard the turn around. And I'm like, that's when my poopy valve went tighter than a fish's asshole in water. I've turned around and I'm facing the stairwell. Now, have you ever heard the sounds of old rickety timber steps when someone's walking up them?
Yeah.
You get that.
Yeah.
There was no one there, and every single member in that group, including myself, we all shit ourselves. We had nowhere to go but down those stairs, and you could feel this energy coming up the stairs as it's creaking. Now, I have never in my life walked backwards away from a staircase. That was the feeling of this energy. It didn't like us. It didn't want us to be there. But when back in the old times, there was an old lady of the night that used to work there. And she got pretty much esconded to the kitchen duties because she put on a little bit too much weight and the boys weren't finding her attractive anymore. And she got really angry. And she used to actually be a bitch to all the other newbies that would come in. And she made it her house. It was her house. And if she didn't like you, she made it aware. Now, that was the very first time that happened. And that was the same night when that happened. And we're walking back down the stairs is when that lady got pushed down the stairs. So she obviously didn't like this other bird and made it known. So there's a lot of different factors when it comes to this. It's always a lead up to what has happened to make something else happen. But yeah, that was one night I crapped myself in front of a bunch of people too. But you can't expect anything. It just happens. You just can't even prepare yourself. You just got to go by the balls, as one would say, and get in there.
What's your favourite equipment you like to use on your ghost hunts?
Oh, favourite equipment. To be honest with you, to be completely honest, I like to use pen and paper and myself. My own hearing, my own sight. I want to document, and then I start bringing out all the tech. First thing I do is I walk through and I take myself in, pen and paper, and do a baseline reading. That's it. And it's just, and have a feel, because your body will tell you if there's something there, and you do feel it. So you'd know what I'm talking about. But that's my favorite equipment's me. It really is.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
You know, I'm an empath too, so I tend to well up. I could relate to your team member that gets all teary. We went to the War Memorial. Was it the beginning of this year?
Yeah.
And I was bawling my eyes out. He's in hysterics by the time I walked out. Just all the heavy energy that was in there because of the sad stories and things. So, you know, there was one stage where he had to just pull me aside and get a tissue because people were looking.
Yeah, here's 500 tissues. I need to take them. We've got this orphanage out here called Niricol. I don't know if you've heard about it. I will never go on that land. We can't even access it. Even with permissions, we can't get in there. I've tried. But a lot of people do trespass on this place. Now, this place has the most eeriest tales. Like, some of the things these children went through is just beyond reason. It's just sad. And I can't do children in spirit. I'm like you. If there's a child in spirit, I get really, really emotional. I don't know why. It's like they never had that chance to get a life and live, And when I've read things about Neurocol and I've met people who were once there, their tales are just, you sit there and you just start crying during an interview. It's so emotionally, and it's just emotional. So if you ever get the chance, read about it. There's actually a book called Nightmare at Neurocol.
Okay.
And honestly, it's raw, it's real, it's intimate. You'll need the tissues. Just what these poor children copped, And I just wanted to reassure people now while I'm on this, I will never step foot on that place, and it's not because I'm scared or anything. It's because I respect my town. I respect Rockhampton. I respect the people that are still alive, that went through everything out there. I just don't do it for shits and giggles. What I do is real and serious. I'm there to help, not make a mockery of institutions.
Yeah, no. Well said.
Yeah.
Just want to say a special hello to Melissa and Annie, my sister. Hi, guys.
If you've got any questions, guys, please don't hesitate to ask some questions.
You bring them.
If you are new subscribers that have subscribed to our channels, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, come and subscribe to our channel. Thumbs up. Follow Michelle on her Facebook page, and we're always here to help. So yeah.
But quite the questions tonight. Usually you're getting pumped left, right, centre.
It's a little bit quiet tonight, maybe because the footy thing's on.
Oh, yes. Go to bed.
I didn't think about it, and I scheduled it at the same time as the football.
Only you.
But that's okay.
So, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you besides when the ghost said that you farted? What's the funniest thing that you can say that it wasn't paranormal, but it just happened to be really funny at the time that it just killed yourself?
Falling down some stairs at Archer Park Railway Museum. I knew they were there, but my feet just kept going. And it was so funny because one of my very first investigators, her name was Anita, she was behind me with the camera. And I was like, let's go move somewhere else. And there was a tape across the freaking stairs. I don't even know why I went down these stairs. And as I was going down, there's a few stairs missing. Now, I'm only 5'4". My legs aren't long enough to go from one step to the third step, And she's shining the camera down and watching me. And all of a sudden, I disappeared out of sight. You just pass the lens. And then she's looked down. And she's like, "You all right, Shell?" And I look like a dead body with white paint around me on the bottom of the and all you hear is me muffly going, "Yeah, I'm good." Yeah, we do stupid things because you're too busy concentrating on everything around you. You forget distinctively what's in front of you. And over a period of time now, I've learned to watch where you're walking, Shell. Don't just gung-ho it in there. You need to watch where you're walking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's I've had a few stupid things, but that would be my top one, I think, apart from farting in the cemetery, but that would be it. Yeah.
Do you have any up-and-coming events after this lockdown? I'm not sure how far lockdown's up with you guys up there in Queensland.
Oh, we're not in lockdown. We're not in lockdown at all. We're not even wearing masks up here. None of us up here.
I've got 2 words for it. I won't say it on here, okay?
Love you too. And so we at the moment, like I said, because tourism is really, really on the back burner up here, we're not getting the numbers. And until I start getting the numbers, which to make the tours worthwhile, because as you all know, we do have business insurances to pay, liabilities, rentals of the locations and the fundraisers that we're donating all our tickets to. By the time the end of the night's finished, I'll walk out with $5.
Yeah.
So we're doing all this in our own time and for free to entertain everybody. And a lot of people get the shits with us because we do charge $50 a ticket, but they've got to understand out of all that comes all that, as well as what's remaining goes to the fundraiser. Yeah. And a lot of people get upset with us, and it's just like, you have no idea how hard it is for us to run these tours, because the equipment, they're using it. If someone drops it, I've got to replace it. And we all know that some of those equipment's $450, you know, $100. It's not as if we're pulling it out of my own pocket to get it seasoned. But the next lot of tours,
now $50 is nothing.
When,
if we get up that side of town, I'm bringing my cameras, and I'm coming to play with all your spirit. Because
I'd love that.
My stepbrother, like I say, lives in Rockhampton, and then I've been around to that Criterion Hotel up near the river there, where they've got the staircases. I've been there. I've got some really good photos.
Did you go on the roof?
It's got some good sights there too.
Have you gone to the roof for the cry?
The roof? No, I haven't been up there. Hang on. No. I just been into the building when I met the manager, the Criterion.
Yeah, no, we went up there into the cry, went up to the bell tower where she supposedly hung herself. And that place in there is, that's different. And I know all the rooms that are haunted up there. Everyone thinks Mrs. Parker's room, which is 35, is the most haunted. No, you need to go down a level.
Was too, the second floor.
Sorry?
No, but room 22, that's in the middle. I found that one pretty active too.
21, 22, but the most active I found was 7.
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah. Well, George Curtis used to be. He married Dorinda Parker, which was Robert and Maria's daughter. She had a couple of daughters, and he ended up becoming, I think, a local politician in Rockhampton, Mr. Curtis. And I was just getting in there and was setting up for a tour, and one of my other ladies was going around taking photos. And she happened to take a photo on room 7. Literally, she's walked in there, and this was all on a mobile, walked in there and went, snapped a photo. She's come back out, and she's looking at him and she goes, check this out. And she couldn't explain what it is. And she zoomed in on it, and I'm like, holy mother of Lord, you caught something. And then I went back and found the original photo of George Curtis, and when you put them side by side, you can actually see his whole face. Like, you can see his moustache, his chin. Wow. Just his profile matches, and that's what she caught, coming off the veranda walking into room 7.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a really, really good shot. And I'm like, well, we're in for a good night in this room tonight. And, yeah, it was. There's more in there than what people realise. Like, there's a building next door to the Criterion. I don't know if you remember it. It's the old Morning Bulletin building.
Oh, that's the white one?
Yeah. I am itching to get in there like a woman with crabs. I just want to get in there and have a sniff around and scratch. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, I've got terms.
It's good, and we like it. We do like it. It's about entertaining and making people laugh, and it's great what you're doing. I love it.
That just flew out. I make puns all the time.
It's all good. Just be yourself. We love it.
We love this.
We talk like this at home, and I think we just love it when someone else is. It's like you're just a burst of fresh air to us.
Oh, thank you.
We're just no airs and graces. We're just ourselves. People either love our show or hate it, you know.
Well, we turned around. I just want to get in there because every time I walk past, there's a gap between the Criterion and the Morning Bully. There's a parking area. And I've walked up in there, and I tell you right now, even the hairs on my ass, I'll stand up and I go in there. It feels like even someone's standing there, yet there's no one there on the dock.
Yeah.
And I've walked past the windows and I've looked in, and it's just like, God, I just want to get in there. But the owner I cannot get him to reply to my emails to get in there and have a look, you know. I just want to see. I just want to go in there and have a feel around. But there's a lot of buildings we cannot get into because people don't want their buildings known to be haunted.
You know, I found it haunted when I was up there when I spent time with my brother. You know how you come out of the Criterion and you're walking down to the water?
Yep.
You had got all those trees along there?
Yep.
Check it out.
Okay.
Trust me, I did some EVP work there. Thought nothing of, but I know there was crocs there, so I was standing back away from the water.
You're right.
So I could see them, and if any was going to come out, I would have been. It wouldn't have got near me. I would have been halfway up the other end. And I did some EVP work there, and no joke, I got some really good evos. I think a few people must have been taken by crocs or Aboriginals might have used that.
No. If you look back on history, the old Rockhampton Bridge there next to the Criterion, the amount of people that committed suicide off that bridge just jumped off. And I'm talking right to the 1890s, right through. Just jumped off. It's phenomenal. So I can understand. I know the area you're talking about, so I know where there would be some good EVP action. But if you went down further and go to the old port, the old wharf that was there, the original wharf, not where it is now, it's the next wharf over, you'll just see the pylon sticking out of the water. That was where the original wharf was. Where they come
that's
in
next to the bridge, isn't it? They got where you can go down, and they've got all trees along this side, and it's got do not swim crocs on the other side. On the other side.
Yeah. There, if you sit there, you just sit in your car, turn the EVP on, you'll hear horse hooves, you'll hear carts, the mumbling of people. It's like they're still working on the wharf. It's unbelievable. But you just got to handle the midgies. God, those bastards can bite, eh? I'm allergic to the shit, so I look like I'm cottage cheese the next day just from going out and trying to grab a 15-minute EVP. It's disgusting. Then people look at you like the elephant man. Anyway, so your things you do for spirit. And there's even down at Gabriel Creek, a lot of people go fishing off the creek down there, off the bridge. Yet on the other side, we've caught some really gnarly EVPs because it has been known to be the dumping ground for bodies for many, 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 many years.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot come through that have told us their stories. And the thing is, with things like that, I can't exactly go to the coppers and say, hey, man, I've got a name. I know what's happening. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Straight away, you're going to be a bloody suspect. So I listen and delete and hold that crap. And it's like, oh, no, man, I was just down there doing some recordings and this is what comes through. And so there's so much that goes on, even on the river, each side of the river, you'll get something. Even the, I think it's the Edge Apartments. I shouldn't be saying this, but the Edge Apartments. One of the because I don't know what was there. I cannot remember what was built at the Edge Apartments, but it was demolished. Then the Edge Apartments were built. And a lot of spooky stories that people have contacted me with that has happened to them in these brand new rooms, they can't explain, and they won't stay there ever again. And I'm thinking, well, you got to understand that even though the building's been demolished, that spirit still resides on that land. So there's a new building there. Yep. Put the seatbelt on and hang on to the ride. And that's in. Next time we come up, there is a spot I'd like you to check out. It's next to the new bridge in Rockhampton where the St. John's Hospital used to be. It's been totally demolished, and a lot of deaths did occur in that hospital, and no one will build on there ever again. It's been vacant for decades. Wow. So I'd like to have a bit of a sniff around there, but the only problem is, I know, right? The only problem is that because it's constant traffic, we're going to have to sit down and think about how we will approach it with what equipment. So I'd have to use equipment that doesn't require the EVP. So there'll be a lot of, PSP 7s, 11s, a lot of work with probably EMF, REM pods even, just for atmospheric changes.
A voice recorder underneath, like a dome or like a plastic dome or something, and put it on top. Because if the spirits are going to talk, as long as you make it fairly big, and I've done it to try and isolate the traffic by putting two big plastic containers around it, so the EVP's got about that much room around each side.
That's all right.
And that does take out the noise around, so if a spirit's going to talk, they're going to talk straight into the voice recorder.
That's a good idea. I might try that next time. Yeah, that's a great idea.
It just takes out all the sound.
Yeah, because I used to use the fluffy shit that goes over your microphone for wind and stuff.
So you just get a big plastic container or two, put them together, make sure it's big enough to leave about that much room so it's wide around, and just put the voice recorder on the ground and put it straight on top and say, if anybody wants to talk into that.
Yeah.
So then you know it's a JIT EVP too, because they can only access it if they get up close to it.
Well, I'd love to make one of those bionic ears, to be honest with you. I think that would be a great way to do EVPs, because you'll have yourself, say, Julia wearing it, and you'll be able to tell Jason which direction you actually heard the voice come from. I'd love to be able to make a set of those.
Yeah.
That's my next experiment, actually. I like trying to
whisper Paranormal said, "G'day."
Hi, Madeline. How are you? We have different people that pop on.
They probably think it's pagan, you know?
No, Ghostly Whispers is a Queenslander herself.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's from Dutton. Is that where you're from, Madeline?
Where is Dutton?
Love
I
Down
don't know.
there.
your story, Michelle. Great. Sonia said, love the way you tell your stories there, Michelle.
Yeah, no.
Oh, thank you, Sonia. I'm actually one of those bogan storytellers that just don't hold back. Spine, get there.
No, we love it. Yeah, no, Dutton's down towards Tenterfield or down towards the border.
Oh, yeah, righto. Yeah, I don't really go I don't go down that way a lot to Brisbane because it's really funny actually because I'm a country. Gatton, there you go, Gatton. Now I know where you're at. Last time I went to Brisbane, because I'm such a bogan and country lass, I went down there dressed up in my best cobby and I looking pretty smick. I thought it looked right, and I stuck the makeup on and jizzied up a little bit. The next minute, I get to Brisbane Airport and I fair income. I felt like I stepped out of St. Vinny's on a $5 day. The fashion was so different. And I was like, look at it. Like, Jesus. And you could tell where I was actually come from. And it's just, even the way we talk, it's a lot of people, my Brisbane friends, have said, you sound different to what people sound like in Brisbane. And I'm like, well, I am from the bush, mate, you know. We're a different
You
set
always
of...
say that you're Steve Irwin, you see a clock and you be straight up and they're going, I'm coming to get you. Hang on, there's McDonald's across the road.
No, Red Rooster.
Red Rooster.
I got extra power for the tinny.
I actually lived in Gladstone for a while when I was about 12.
Gladdy, yeah.
Was there any haunted sites around there? Do you know?
There is a group in Gladstone. They're called CQ Paranormal and Investigations, I believe. And they do a majority around Gladstone and Calliope. And I've been heard on the grapevine. They do a bloody great job. So that might be a little bit of a plug for them. But they're the group in Gladstone to the go-tos when it comes to hauntings. They also, I think, do tours as well and little programs for kiddies, if I remember. I don't know if they're still going. But, yeah, they're the go-tos in Gladstone, and they're quite a capable group. They've got, like us, they got branches of different bits and pieces put together in a group of people that work really well, like as unity. And, yeah, they're really great. I think they've got a Facebook page, if I recall. Yeah, so I haven't met them yet. I'd love to. And just sit down and have chin wags, you know. I don't mind a good storytelling session and a bit of a laugh. And
No, we love it too. I mean, that's why we've had the channel... because we've been in lockdown since July. You know, we couldn't produce anything. We were at home and went, you know what, let's do paranormal chat, and it's a para-unity thing. So, you know, we love people to talk about themselves and what they do and what they've got coming up so we can promote them and, you know, and we get to network as well. We get to meet all you lovely people without having to leave our house. So we're sticking to all the rules too.
Well, mine's a choice not to leave the house because I'm stuck here, you know, like to look after people, but you get that on big jobs.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's boring. I mean, you know, I love my home, but when you're told that you have to stay in it and you can't go anywhere, you're really limited. But then I've been really creative too. Like we've managed to do a few videos. Like we're lucky where we are. We've got an abandoned house, a cemetery, and a back road that we call Mafia Lane that's had a few rumours, no proof. And then we've got a haunted railway just within the perimeter as well. So we've made good use of all of them.
And we've got a new one too now.
Yes. Jason overheard a couple of kids talk about a park in the area and how they were, you know, in there just mucking around and they got scared off in the middle of the night by these loud stomps.
Oh, wow.
We thought, well, we're going to have to go and investigate that. Well, he got pushed when he got down there. And we thought, well, we're coming back for you. We want to know what your problem is. And we've been there twice already, had amazing evidence with cat balls lighting up and the K2 meter going right up to red. But do you know what? Every time we've come home, we've had footage wiped off the camera or no sound.
No.
It's been playing games with us. So we're just going to have to keep trying. Whatever it is, it's it's a bit of a trickster. So
Yeah, I've had that as well. I've had gone out and you've spent hours and hours getting all this great footage. You've heard it, you've replayed it back, and you know it's there. You get home and it's like, where to go? I've actually had exactly the same thing. You know, same with video footage. It's going really, really well, and all of a sudden, static. Right at that moment, a key moment, we got something, and it goes static. I've actually had that as well. So, and same with, what about drainage on batteries? Do you find?
Yes, we've had that too. It was heartbreaking because we had them going off last week. Because normally when we go to a haunted place, they don't like cameras anyway. They hate them for some reason. They'll give you all sorts of action, and then the minute you put a camera on, they're nothing. They're not gonna. They're just like, screw you.
And what about when you go into a room with a camera?
Yeah,
and it's 100%, and you go in there, you're in there 2 minutes, and it goes. Next minute, your low battery light's coming on. You're like, you're kidding me. And then you walk out, you turn it off, fiddle with it for a while, then it's 100% again, and it works fine for the rest of the night, except that one room. I've definitely had that.
Yeah. Or we'll find that the camera won't take a picture. It'll just keep, mucking up, say it gets jarred or something. I've had it in my hand, and next minute it's turned off. And I said, Jace, is that meant to do that? Like thinking there's a timer on it. He goes, no, someone's turned it off on you.
Yeah, I've had cameras go off. You'll hear it going bling, and it's like someone turned the damn camera off right at that pivotal moment. We've always had it. What are your thoughts on dowsing rods and gadgets like that?
I haven't got any. I'd like to test it, but I haven't got them. But I'd like to get my hands on some.
Yeah.
Just make your own.
People swear by them. A lot of people, swear by them. I think they'd be good for yes and no answers and things like that.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told too that, because we do water dowsing out here, because we live out on property, we have to water douse, for water, of course. I'm just the same. But anyway, I found brass was the best one to use. The spiritual, I don't know why, but it seems to go off on brass. Copper, no, they'll give you that false negative because it could be a water bore or something, or a table underneath where you're at, where brass doesn't pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you can pick up. Yeah, just go down to your local bloody your gas stores where they sell brass rods, and you just make your own. Yeah.
Cool. We'll definitely have to try. So I know Kapunda, everybody's heard of Kapunda, it's the most haunted town in Australia. They reckon...
Oh, but is it?
Well, yes, I know. They haven't seen Rockhampton. We went there because that's on our bucket list. We have to see it if it's the most haunted place in town. It was fairly active, but it wasn't...
Excuse me for a minute. Yeah, keep going. I'm listening.
You're
Let's go let the dogs out. Little turds.
And they reckon it's the copper in the ground because it's a copper mining town.
That's what Mount Isa would hold then.
Yeah.
Because they're like copper, zinc, lead, is it silver as well? But majority of it's copper.
Yeah.
Because I was up there for a couple of years.
Any sort of mineral in the ground like that, like I said, your crystals, your gold, silver, any sort of metal, it holds energy. Same as near the water holds energy.
Well, around here you'd enjoy it around here because where I am, the mountains here just hold so much different stuff. I've gone trekking in the mountains, and I swear to God, I feel like you feel like you're being watched. And I consult with a lot of the Aboriginal elders in the area, and they said that, there's Yowies up there, there's JJs, there's the hairy man, I think they call it the tall man as well. And they said, if you find, how people get rocks and they balance the rocks at beaches and stuff.
Yes.
There's some in the mountains up the back here on a bloody hill that's only a 45-degree angle. There's these rocks just precariously just balancing, and you can't get up there unless you literally come up with, don't ever wear shorts. I found it out the hard way. Get cuts all over your legs because of all the bloody bindies and branches sticking out everywhere. It's a fun ride. But yeah, I saw the artesian basin. Yes, that water is full of minerals because I think Winton, out Queensland, they're running off the artesian basin and it stinks. But you know what? You might smell like a bloody pit when you've had a shower, but it makes the best cup of tea. Oh,
Yeah?
God. The most tastiest cup of tea you'll ever have. Yep.
Oh, wow. I'll have to try that because I do like my tea at night.
Oh, it just gives a whole different thing, eh? It's so nice. I did that when I was up at Winton. Yeah, had a shower, smelled like I just rolled around a cow patty, but then had a cup of tea out of the same water. Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
You're making me miss Queensland.
Shadow
I
Man
miss
tries
Queensland.
to attach to me.
Try to
Okay.
attach to
Now, with regard to the Shadow Man, everyone says, the Shadow Man's evil entity. Is it because he's just a bloody shadow? I don't look at things. I question. That's my issue. I'm one of these people that think outside the box, and I'll break that box down again and so forth until I try to find that one answer. Now, everyone's worried about this Shadow Man. Now, I've encountered many a Shadow Man, but in saying that, I've never had ones that have haunted me like the ones that have haunted these people that do have Shadow Men. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I honestly believe a shadow person is someone who doesn't have the energy to fully manifest into an apparition
You
that
know
we
what?
like
I
to
was
see.
about to say the same thing, Michelle, because I've seen many shadow people, and I feel the same thing that they just don't have as much energy to manifest into a full apparition. So you just get the silhouette of that person.
hmm I've always been a big believer of that, and people that say they see the Shadow Man, instantly they get fear, they worry, they think it's something bad's going to happen. The best advice I can give people like that is just a basic thing that everyone should do if they ever see something and they don't understand it. We all have fear. We all will shit ourselves and go, what the hell is that? All you got to say is something like, oh, how you going? Why don't you come in and watch telly with me? I do it all the time. If I see, a Shadow Man out of the corner of my eye and I look over and it suddenly disappears, like, just stand there, man. Why don't you come in down and sit down and watch, Love Island with me? Just keep your hands to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always talk to them, and I've had situations where people have contacted me and they're saying something in my house, it keeps moving things around, and first thing I say to them is, have you ever just said hello? Just acknowledge that entity.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, how do I do that? And I'm like, exactly the same as what you've done to me on the phone. Oh,
That's it.
do the same thing. Introduce yourself. Talk to them.
Mm.
And eventually things calm down. In a couple of weeks they've calmed down. They've contacted me and said, it's just calmed down. I said, acknowledgement is always key. Don't ever ignore. Just acknowledge.
That's it.
Madeline says she would love to investigate with someone here in Queensland.
Oh, get on the plane, Maddie, and come up here. Love you. I'll show you around the joint. I'll give you the country view.
And then when we're allowed over the border, we'll come and join both of you girls. Sounds
Oh, hell yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, even Katie Harvey, Paranormal down in Toowoomba, a lot of, I find her very authentic. We've met. She's a barrel of laughs. You'd love her as well. She's one to look into as well, down that way in Toowoomba.
We have met her at the Paranormal Expo in Melbourne. She was lovely.
She's
Yeah.
a cracker. Yeah.
We met so many people down there.
Yeah.
Really lovely bunch of people, and we're still friends today. I mean, they're just so genuine.
Sula, love Sula from Paranormal
Yeah.
Adventures Australia. God bless her. She's like the queen, you know what I mean? Like, I've always, any issue, I'm straight on a Sula, especially when it comes to demonology and everything like that. She's just an encyclopedia for everything. And we've become really good friends, and she likes my boginess as well. She thinks it's a classic when I'm on the phone. But that's she's just an amazing person. She'll chop an arm off for you.
She's got a heart of gold. We've had her and another team in South Australia help us a few times. Jane from Whisper.
Yes, that's it.
When we've had any cases that we've gone, oh, hello, we're not quite sure. We've gone to them for advice. Or sometimes they've had cases, but they're in New South Wales, so they get us to suss it out for them.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of people get confused with us up here too. We've had cases where they said, "Oh, do you reckon you can go and check out a case in Brisbane?" I'm like, "Dude, that's like an 8-hour drive from us."
Yeah.
I can't just jump on a plane and to Brisbane.
Of course
So a
you
lot of
can.
people,
You're a Queensland girl. Come on, you're bogan. You just do it.
oh, it's great. Grab me Wonder Woman jet round the back, and hover on down there. Run all the way. Shit.
No, we get the same. We get people going, is, Dubbo anywhere near you? No, it's like a 6-hour drive. It's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
It's not as if we can just jump in the car and go, because we all have our work commitments and things like that. So we do try and,
Can you hear that noise coming? That's my dog opening the door. Open, close, open, close. I'm still my head in. Sorry.
No, we
But
didn't hear anything.
yeah, I had one lady on Linfield. I went for a job. This is many years ago, and it was down in Brisbane. And they said to me, she rings me up and she goes, "Oh, we'd like you to attend an interview at 2:00, please." And meanwhile, it was like midday, and I'm like, "Yeah, no." And she goes, "Why is that?" And I turned and said, "How long do you think it'll take me to get from Rockhampton to Brisbane?" She says, "Oh, going off the map, it should be about 20 minutes." And I'm like, "Do you know how to read a key on a map?" And I'm like, "It takes about 8.5, 9 hours to get to Brisbane. That doesn't include roadworks." Oh my God, well, we won't be having you at the interview today, then will we? And I'm like, "No, you won't be." So when it comes to distance, a lot of people don't understand how long it takes. Like even from us getting from here to Bundy, depending on how you drive, it's like a 4-hour drive. And I've done that in cases. I've even done urgent one that was in Ipswich in 2016, I think it was. We actually drove all the way down to Ipswich to help a family and come back, and that was only a weekend job, but God, I was wretched after that. Oh, I was so tired.
You find when you do an investigation, you come home, you're just so drained that you just get on a lounge, you just go, you're looking at the evidence, you go, whatever.
And then you have a fresh look the next morning, you're like, damn, I missed that one. After about 15 coffees, I call that, and a lot of people do call it, actually, I call it the investigator's hangover. Because we are literally, you're doing 8 hours sleep, then you're up all day preparing for the night, getting everything charged, ready to go. And by the time you're on investigations, then you've got another 6, 7, 8, 12 hours ahead of you. You are rat shit, honestly. You've got sleep deprivation kicking in, you start hallucinating, and you've got to keep going. So even when we're doing investigations, I like to take that break and say, right, get into the chocolates, have a sugary drink, wake up, have something to eat, because your body needs to keep going. So that's what we do even on tours. I'll stop halfway through because I know how tiring it's going to be for people and get them to have something to eat. So, I can organise things like Subway. That's part of the ticketed price. They'll get something to eat halfway through, maybe a banger on a sausage, like a bunny sausage with some onion, a can of Coke or something. Yeah.
After an investigation, do you and your team go to a place to sit down and just have a coffee or debrief on anything?
No. We tend to, because all of us have got such busy lives, I tend to sit down and go through everything. Then if I find something that is questionable or something that's happened, we're all on a group chat, so I'll send it. Yeah. So I need you to look at this footage. I need you to listen to this footage. And then we'll sit down in that group chat and chat, because we all live in different suburbs, which makes it very hard to get to sometimes. And like I said, all of them have got kids. I don't have kids. And all of them work full time. So it's a little bit, trying to get that togetherness is quite hard. So we tend to do it using the internet pages.
Yeah, what me and Julie do after, sometimes before we go to investigation, after, we aim for like a McDonald's, coffee and ice creams.
Yeah, you need that coffee. I tend to go for a triple shot, but Red Bull, a lot of people I see come on investigations, they have Red Bulls or Monster cans and stuff like that. And that's like drinking a beer, because it gives you that energy boost. But in saying that, it also had the same effect as alcohol, because if you have too many, you are pinging off the ceilings.
Yeah.
You're like a little ricochet bullet bouncing around the room. Whereas we like to keep it to a level where I can understand coffee. Yeah, it does the same deal, but it's not going to give you the same effect as a Red Bull or a Monster or a V or a beer. But we tend to go for the, the sugary stuff, like the little favourites, always fight for the favourites. Whoever's got the favourite. And I always did Turkish delight. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's nothing." I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
they're
like,
my favourite.
yeah, same. I don't know why people don't like them. Hey, you and I'd be like, give me that 10. You'd be like a WWF going on. Jason, you're filming on Turkish.
Favourites box. And everybody else goes, "Ooh, I don't like them." And I go, "Well, more for me. I like them."
Well, you got fighting hands now, haven't you? That's
I'll just get
another.
2 boxes of Turkish delight. One for you, one for me. We're
Oh,
laughing.
we'll just get down to the last one, chop in half. So here's up for me.
For sure.
But yeah, when you come up here, there's a lot of places I'd love to take you. There's one up Mount Morgan, especially. I have footage that I cannot explain at all. I've tried and tried and tried. I've got 2 amounts.
And I'll have a look at it for you.
It's really strange because when it I was using we're at a place called Dirty Mary's. I know it sounds like some sexual joint, but it was all about, she's supposed to, the tale goes that she actually done a lot of Satanism and occult practices up on this joint, and she was somehow related to I don't know if you remember this, the lesbian vampire killer that was jailed.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it was her auntie or something. That's speculation. I've still got to look into that. But when I was up there, there's this I've never seen anything like it. This old humpy in the middle of this paddock. Everything else from 30 meters around, perfect round circle. Even if you Google map and you look down, it's a perfect circle around this house. Nothing grows. Yet outside of that, it's luscious and green. And it's in the middle of bushland. And there's this massive fireplace sitting there, and we were there one night, and I'd set up the full spectrum GoPro, the lights going, sitting on one of the seats, and I'm way over the other side. You can see me fucking around the camera because of this lens flare and me bouncing around. All of a sudden, I've stopped with the camera, and this thing comes past the GoPro, and it looks like it's got 2 legs, 2 arms, and a freaking tail, and it actually jumps over one of the logs and runs straight past, like it was running from the situation. I have no idea what it is, and it's something that
try to slow it down on through your things.
And I've got another one that Sula has seen. We're at the old Krakow, it's a township called Krakow. God's sakes, but and hang on, there's an old hospital out there, and it was our first time there. It was just myself and 2 other ladies, and this place. Oh, g'day, nice pussy, James. And
yeah, that's Jack.
Jackie.
Our boy Jack. He's the scammer.
What?
The scammer. You call him the scammer. He gives you his big, beautiful eyes. You go, "Oh, what a lovely pudding patty." Anyone's food.
You remind me of that bloody eBay Tuesday ad now. We should get sushi girl if he's a scammer, you know.
He's a scammer. Scammer alert. Aren't we?
Krakow is one place I'd love to take you guys. It's about probably a 4-hour drive southwest from here. And we did one out there, and I got this footage. This something will blow your mind, Jason. It really will, because it blew Sula's. It blew me. She didn't have an explanation either, and pretty much said to me, "You need to get onto other people to get it looked at." It goes for 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it's constant for 20 minutes. We didn't see it with our own eyes, but because of the infrared light, it captured it. And it's this footage is just, I can't explain it. I've never been able to explain it, and that was in 2017. And I still to this day, I've had other investigators look at it. They can't explain it. Railing Cable looked at it 5 times right in front of me, and she couldn't explain it. So it's one of those, I don't know what it is.
Wow.
But it's very mind-boggling. It's just this light that comes out of nowhere. It comes peeking around the corner, then goes back, and comes back out, comes back, then just sits there and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and just sat there.
Do you have min lights where you are?
Nah, that's more I've heard of a couple of people say there are, but I think it's more west for us. So out Blackwater, out past Emerald Longridge Way, they're out that way a lot. But I haven't encountered any out here, but we do have UFO sightings out here on a constant basis. A lot of people won't say anything, but when you're on tours, you'll always have that one person that comes up and they'll tell you about it because they're afraid to talk to anyone else. And there's been a lot of different things out here in the skies that we get as well. That with Dad and I can't explain. We've been outside and looked up and gone, what the fuck's that? And same with, we've seen giant cats out here. You know, they look like a bloody panther. I don't know what they are. There's a lot. Even an old bloke just down the road from us, he's right on the mountain. And he's actually has stated him, I thought he was cuckoo in the head, that he actually saw a yowie in his backyard this one night. And he said he was nearly 9 foot tall. He shit himself because he lives by himself. But sadly, he's passed away. And, he's only just down the road. I'd love to suss that place out and just sit there and watch it, if we get anything in the hills.
Jason,
because I reckon they go for fruit or something. They're supposed to be fruit eaters or something like that. So
well, it's not proven. They don't know if it's meat or fruit, because I've seen some docos where animals have been ripped apart, put up in high trees, and the way it's been mauled, it's been done by something big, and it looks like it's taken whatever's from it, it's eaten it.
I dare you to offer him a banana, Jason. Sorry.
No. He's actually had a Bigfoot experience years ago, didn't you?
Wow.
I was down at Bundina with a few of my mates, and we started to go bushwalking because we were camping there. So we went bushwalking, cut through this big high grass and got the other side, rivers on one side, on the right-hand side of it, beautiful blue water. It was beautiful. And meanwhile, we're walking, and the hill was like this, and we're down here, we're walking along like this way. And all we heard is thump, thump, thump coming down. And we stopped. And it stopped. And we went, okay, so we all got these big sticks in our hands. We picked them up thinking, well, if it's going to be wild animal, we're going to swing with the best. And then after that, we noticed a river just down beside of us. So we cut down the river. The river's up past our knees. And so it was a pretty deep water. We crossed up to our hips and climbed out the other side. And we started walking. And when we'd done that, then we heard a big splash. And we went, okay, what was that? So we doubled back to see what it was. Sticks in our hands. We're ready to swing, give it a big hiding. We saw footprints like that. Only one footprint like that in the water. And we looked and went, okay. And there's a cliff like this. It was high up. I don't know how we climbed it, but we didn't care there was a snake or whatever. We climbed that cliff like you would not believe. Got to the top and thinking, well, whatever it is, it's going to have to come up this way, and we're up top looking for sticks. So it's going to come up, and we're waiting for it. Nothing come up, and then we went back to our campsite, and we spoke to the ranger. We took the ranger there to show him where it was. Meanwhile, we're packing because, what happens if this thing comes at us? And we're looking at the ranger going, I hope you can fight. I hope you can defend yourself, because if it's coming, we're leaving you. And and he looked in the water. He goes, that's the best evidence I've been trying to get. But it ended up fading away at the time he went to get it. But he goes, there's been a lot of sightings of a Bigfoot in that area in Bundina. A lot of people complain. And that's my experience with that. But I'll never forget it. I've heard a lot of stories of down that end.
And this is where he wanted to take me camping.
Hi, darling. I really like you.
Nice husband.
Yeah, it is lunch. That's all. Jesus.
You got your life insurance paid up? Let's go camping.
How romantic.
Yeah. God goes missing in the bush. I don't know. Must have been Bigfoot. Yeah.
I don't know. She went to do a piss. But
it was a really good experience. Like to hear that, because it sounded like a log or something coming down, but the log wouldn't make like thump, 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 and then just stop. It didn't hit anything because there's all trees up there. If it would have been a log coming down, it would have heard the crack off a tree. There was no noise at all. All we heard is like 4 or 5 steps, and it just stopped. And meanwhile, I was young at the time. I was like, this little young fella, and I'm ready to get the hell out of there, and but if I go back now, I wouldn't be fear of it. I'll be trying to get it on camera.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my dogs are growling at the moment. I'm just trying to separate them. They do this.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Some time out, too. It's all good.
Knock it off, please. No more.
Is it? Oh, you're not coming up. Some comments are not coming back up.
Probably deleted.
Oh. No, we've had a problem even today. Jason had a trouble getting on his YouTube.
Yeah, I
A
see
guy
my
warned me
guy
about the
warned me
shadow
about the
man
shadow
who
man.
tried to attach it to me.
Yeah, I'm seeing those there, Jeff.
No, he said bye. Yeah, I don't know why his comments not coming up. Yeah, we've had a couple of times we put tubes up and people can't comment after them, so I don't know if there's some sort of glitch going on.
Well, they said something about Facebook the other day had a bit of an issue as well, so it could be an extension of that. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh,
Because
Jeff,
even on
sorry.
Facebook, it'll be the same.
I'll have to message him and apologies. I don't know why. Yeah.
I hope I didn't offend him with my
No.
idea of the shadow man. That's one thing I don't want him to be offended by. But I wish I knew his story and we could help possibly explain it a little bit better.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. No, he's a paranormal investigator himself, so he's open to different views.
But didn't he say if it's trying to attach himself to him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he done anything? This is where I wish he could talk. Has he done anything for self-protection? What is he using? What's he tried? Has he tried saging? Because I do not believe in sage, but has he tried anything different to stop the attachment?
But then there could be like a different type of entity that's come up as a shadow. You know what I mean?
We all know everything works differently.
Yeah.
The shadow man at the
Parramatta jail are evil.
Oh,
we've got all these comments.
Yeah. I've heard a lot about the Parramatta jail. I'd love to go down there for a bit of a sniff, like a lab on a drug hunt. But I just want to see what's down there as well, and because there's some brilliant stories that do come out of those tours down there.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Look, to me, there's two different types. I mean, there's the shadow men that most people talk about when you go on the hunts and there's shadows walking around. I see shadow people. To me, they just seem like either lower entities or ones that don't have enough energy. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you've got, like a dark entity that'll come up as a mass.
Correct.
Yep. And that's totally different again.
Yeah, have you ever had is it plasma when you're taking photographs and you get that plasma shot?
Yes,
that's something that blows me away. Like just consecutive shots, and all of a sudden you just get the mass plasma.
Yeah, no, we've had those. We've even had a couple of our tubes are just memories because we're bored. We compiled some photos, and you can see one in the cemetery. This big plasma streak. We've got that, and a couple of it looks more like smoke or cloud, and it's formed a face.
Yeah, I got one at the cemetery here, and it took up the whole frame, but right in the corner, you can just see it, and it's not until you zoom in amongst all that plasma. Here is a full face of a gentleman, and that week we did that. For a whole week, I suffered. I was so different. Even my boss. She was like, "What is wrong with you?" And that's when I went and seen Tracy, and she actually picked it up and said, "You've still got whoever's with you. You've still got them with you." And we ended up going back to the cemetery and dropping his ass off like a taxi, get out. Sort of thing. I'm not charging you this time, I think you've earned your keep, and just get out. And after that I was fine, but it was just weird directly after that shot. And we got that. And then changed with the men. And that's the thing. You find when you have something that's trying to come into you or attach to you, your memories are very, very faded. For that you might be with you for a week, and for that whole week, you're going, what the hell did I do on Tuesday? You know what I mean? And people notice a change in you, but you don't remember. And then once it's gone and you have it removed from you, people are like, oh, do you remember what you said to me on Wednesday? Nope. What did I say? Oh, and the bloody said that, and then it's on. And no, you did. I'm like, oh, righto. So there's
sorry. I
You're right.
Can affect your moods a lot.
Oh, yes.
I'll come there. Sometimes I'll all of a sudden I just feel angry, really angry. Well, what about the other night at the cemetery? We went up, we were doing the last tube. It took us over 2 nights. The first night I was just on edge. I was jumpy, I was on edge, and I didn't know why. Had no idea why. I wasn't feeling afraid, but I was just on edge. Like this matter of urgency, something I had to, we had to hurry up for some reason. And
Do
then the
you
next
find
night
that,
I felt calm.
sorry to interrupt, but do you find that you actually pick up their emotions as well, like their distress? Like if you can feel that, do you find 1 minute you'll be fine, all of a sudden you get this massive headache and it might be in one little spot and it's always somewhere, and then you find out later on just from research that someone had been shot in the head, or you get the back pain, the shoulder pain, or if it's a lung issue, you can't breathe. I find
Oh, I get that
like
a
that.
lot. Yeah, I get choked up, or sometimes I've actually got to tell them to back up. I'll go, I can feel it. Thank you
Hmm.
for letting me know, but you need to back up now because I need to be able to breathe.
Yep.
Um, we investigated one place, and I went to one area, and I said, "Oh, I feel something in my heart. I feel somebody has some heart issue here." And the owner of the house said the previous owner had a sudden heart attack and was found dead at that spot.
Oh wow. Oh
So
wow.
I picked it up straight away. I just went, my heart, I was clutching my chest.
Oh
So
wow. What do you do when you like if you say get new equipment? Like I've been using, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, the Alice transcommunication device that you get on Windows. You ever heard of that one? Alice Spirit Box.
we've been using the necrophonic. We use that.
Well,
We do know some apps have pre-recorded voices in them, like the necrophonic. But to me, it's just a toy. Like the ghost can manipulate cat balls, K2 meters, REM
mhm.
pods. It's just another device for them to manipulate. And
Yeah.
a lot of the times we have had evidence that I can prove. Like um, we went up to the cemetery for shits and giggles because we were bored, like we're on lockdown. So we went, what can we do? Let's go there, We're social isolating. Um, and
Yeah.
I was playing with the app. We weren't filming, we're just doing it for fun. And I said, "Oh, can someone give me their name? Does anyone want to give me their name come through?" One said Joan. Well, I looked up and I shit you not, the tombstone right in front of me was a Joan. And I went, well, that's pretty good, coincidental. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought, I'll walk around with it. And I was getting some pretty good responses.
Mm.
And sorry, I was just checking to see if there's any more comments. And then I went to another area, and a lady's name called Nellie came through.
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, where are you?" And I heard the words came, "Standing behind you." Well, I turned around, and the name on that tombstone was Nellie.
That's amazing. Like
So,
I'm not a big app person, like a lot of people use a lot of apps, and and you are right, a lot of them are pretty much like got banks in them. They have to have the internet on to run them. Whereas I like to turn everything off when I'm running an app to try it out, like flight mode, just disconnect everything. And if it
mm,
doesn't work, it doesn't work. I have used Electrophonic myself. I find that a pretty good one. Also, Phasmabox is another one I would use. Um, and then Sula was talking about, is it EchoBox?
yes, I've heard EchoVox and other teams use it.
Yeah,
Um,
they're the ones. They're my go-to if need be. If everything goes quiet, like I bring out weird shit. Like I have. Remember the old plasma balls that you get when your kids? You put your hand on there, and I've got several of those, and I've had them actually enhance the energy in the room. And I'm not talking the little ones that you get on the desk that are battery operated. I'm talking the big 20 centimeter, 240-volt powered ones. And I always say, you know, if you want energy, go towards them. And I tested this theory this one day, and I was at the Lakes Creek Hotel, and I had one going, and I tested it with the K2. So the closer I got to it, you could see the lights going off on the K2, showing the strength of what the energy coming out of these balls. And I'm like, right, I'm going to put that there, and I just put it outside the mark of the energy levels. Then I turned my recorder on and I put it down. And I invited them over to come and try it out and see how we go. And then all of a sudden the lightning and these balls went to one spot. And I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. And then when I played the recorder back, there was two blokes fighting over it. One was saying it's my turn, and the other one was saying it's not. I'm not done yet.
Oh,
That's
wow.
all I got. It's my turn. I'm not done yet. And that's when that's what I mean. Like, I do a lot of little experiments on a lot of stuff to debunk it, see if it works or not, and I put it in totally different situations. True.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've seen torches, just ordinary torches, on and off, for yes or no answers.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're just devices for them to play with, and if
Mhm.
they want to communicate, they will find a way.
Always.
You know.
Always. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the thing tonight. Is it mucking up?
No. It's ours.
Oh, okay.
I'm just fiddling around with buttons.
Oh.
I can see that. I can see the concentration on your face there. I'm like, I was about to say to you, am I boring you?
No, because we haven't had any more comments come up, and I'm wondering if there's some sort of problem with the.
Yeah, it's called the grand final. Footy.
Yeah,
It's called footy.
Maybe everybody's got this on and
Maybe.
they're watching the footy at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad.
No, you've jinxed it. No, 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 you didn't. It's all good.
Hi, I'm still here. Ooh. Sorry
Well,
about that.
no, you're all right. Just gonna see if there's any more.
I'm here. Yeah, no, the
questions?
messages are coming through.
Are they?
Yeah.
You're here, Balana?
Yep.
I don't know why Jeff's ones didn't come up. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Madeline, you still here?
I have a
Michelle?
question for you, Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa, shoot away.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay on this thing.
Yeah, still here. Dark Water still
Water's
here.
Still here. Don't know why. I'll have to find out if he's okay. But I could see his comments, so.
Yeah,
don't
but
know
I
why
was just
they weren't
waiting for
coming up.
what. I've been listening anyway. Why
Okay.
does? Yeah,
Put it up. My eyes, I'm pretty old. I don't want to squint, so I'll wait for it to go on the big screen. Oh, here we go. Why does it feel like someone is walking over me in bed at night?
Maybe they're a mass suicide.
No idea.
That's actually a really good question, Melissa, because honestly, I've never ever had an experience like that. I've heard of people, having experiences like that or being choked and things, but I personally have never had been interrupted in my bed. So even to answer that, I find it very difficult. I'd love to find the answer to that. And I'm one of these people that if I can't answer something, I'll tell you, because I really haven't investigated that side of things. I don't want to speculate either.
We probably need more to the story, like how long has it been happening? Background story. Is there anything else that's happening?
Yeah.
Maybe
got woken
PM
up
one
by
of us.
She got woken up by
Okay.
it.
And how long have you been in the house?
But see, in saying that, how her dream state, was she dreaming at the time? What was she doing at the time? Because how some people, when they sleep, they shut up and they jump.
Can you see the messages coming up on your side?
No.
If you click on top where it's got comments.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Maybe
2 years.
2 years. That's
2
a long
years.
time.
Damn,
And how
girl.
often does it happen?
Yeah, is it like a once a fortnight, once a month, more frequent? I was in that house.
What's happening
So-
there?
Did it start there at the other house 7 years ago? Or was it for 7 years? Did it start there?
And how heavy is it? Like, to feel someone walking on you, is it actual feet feel or? Because I'm wondering if you've got a pet that's on the other side that's still with you. because that's quite common. Pets will come back, and if they used to sleep on your bed, they'll find their way back to it.
Yeah. Every now and then.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not a frequent thing.
No.
Okay, in saying every now and then, I always look at that time of your life. Like, is when that happens every now and then? Is it when you may be anxious? Is it when you might be angry about something, or are you highly stressed? You know, there's so many different
Yeah.
factors that can come forward into this. Like, you having issues at work. I've had a few.
None slept on the bed.
Well, I do now.
I know. Like I said, you'd have to PM us, and we'd have to be more thorough
correct.
than what we can do on the show. PM either myself or Michelle would be happy to answer
Yep.
a lot more
Try my
questions.
best.
We'd have to find a lot of background stuff to, you
Personal,
know,
there would be a lot of personal questions attached to it because
yeah,
we need
yeah.
also
Just
determine
repeat
mental health.
your sorry. Just repeat your Facebook page again, there, Michelle. So because I
It's
know
just
there's a few more people.
It's just Dusty Doors Paranormal. That's what it's called, Dusty Doors Paranormal.
Yep. Make sure you go over there and follow it, guys. Yep.
I do answer a lot of questions, but like I said, I'm one of those very honest people that if I don't know the answer to your question, I will definitely say I don't know. You know, I'm not going to tag you along and bullshit you, and because I'm, you know, egotistical or looking for fame, I actually do it because I love doing what I do, and I try to help you by researching as well. So there's a lot more to me than just that.
No, we're the same. If we're not sure, we'll refer them to someone that may know.
Yeah.
We'll say, look, I've got a person, and then I'll contact them and then go, hey, someone's contacted me with this problem. Do you think you
So
can
Dark Waters had the same issues. So then I'm questioning it now, like if she's had the same issues or had the same thing going on.
said the same?
Yeah. So is that interesting. I wonder if there's a meaning behind it, like a spiritual element close to the dreaming side of things. Is it that in the middle bit, you know, like, you know, sometimes we are asleep and we go to sleep and then it's that one little bit in the middle where things happen before you actually get that deep sleep. Sleep paralysis. That's what I was trying to think of before. I was going to say sleep deprivation.
Sleep paralysis. I was actually thinking of that because I used to suffer that a lot when I was younger.
Yeah, but that's just more about choking.
No, it's just I couldn't move my body. It was like I was paralyzed. I was conscious of everything happening around me.
Yeah.
I was wide awake, but I couldn't even lift up my arm. If I tried to scream, I had no voice. It was just weird.
Yes,
just frozen.
Half and half state.
And it's a horrible, horrible sensation.
Like in that half and half state, I've heard my name being called, and I've woke up out of that, and there's nothing there. But I've never actually been through that sleep paralysis where I am paralyzed. I've never had that. So that's something that I am not knowledgeable on because I've never really experienced it.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. For me to answer a question, I need to experience it to help you justify what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I've had it in the past where I've heard people running in my room, but I can't lift up my head to see who it is.
Wow.
It's up on the screen for you.
Feels like you're being held down. That's right. It just felt like I was paralyzed.
And that's
I'm
the
trying
thing.
to scream for help, and I had no voice. I'm like,
yeah, I've never had that happen, and that's why I'm so honest about it. I've never had it happen, but for the people that have had it happen, oh my God, I commend you. Kudos to you. You know, like just to go through it and still talk about it, that's pretty bloody amazing.
Well, that was when I was younger. That was before I learned how to protect myself because I'd always had the gift when I was little. But when I got to teenager, early adulthood, that was when I was under psychic attack. So I'm not saying it is, Melissa, or I'm not saying it's not, but it could be. So I need to know more about it, and if I think it is, I'll refer you to a couple of ladies I know that can help you. But I can't just make judgment on just with little knowledge.
There's got to be a link somewhere between sleep paralysis. You know, everyone talks of the awakening, and everyone thinks it's like flowers and a beautiful rainbow. It's not like getting smashed by a bus, over and over. And I wonder if there's a linkage there. Maybe you're moving to a higher part of oneself and growing spiritually, who knows? I'm just guessing here, but
No, I don't have all the answers. I just know what I went through, and it was pretty terrifying. I used to be really, really scared to go to sleep. I'd sleep with a nightlight.
I love what Fairy Dragon has just said. It happens in the REM part of sleep, so you do not play out the dreams. Why would I say demons? The covers are pulled tight over you, can't talk or scream or anything. Oh, yeah. Stuff that. That's creepy.
They call it the Hag Experience. Melissa, if you can Google, look up the Hag Experience, and if it's exactly like that, it could be what I'm talking about. Because I used to look it up because I didn't know what the hell was going on. It was just a weird,
That's the worst thing ever, feeling. Being pushed down in the bed.
It is. It's a horrible feeling. And you feel
not more like after this conversation's bound to happen now. You watch.
Yeah.
I get back to going, she got real.
No. Well, once I learned how to protect myself, it never happened again. So.
Yoga's and good vibes.
Oh. Good vibes. We've got this. Good vibes.
It's a state a few years ago. It's reported that 1,000 people exposed exhibited the
same thing on the same night.
Wow.
That's what makes me wonder, is it a parallel dimensional portal sort of thing? Like, when they talk about things like, it's going to sound weird, but I do think very strangely, we talk about the sea levels rising and climate change and everything. But in saying that, scientists have also said that the Earth is literally moved like 15 degrees on its own axis, has changed. So to me, it's like that was years ago too. So who's to say with that one slight move in the magnetic field of our planet, has that created the issues that people are facing with the sleep paralysis? Has that created has more portals been opened, vortexes? Has all that come to light because of just that slight little diagonal change?
Yeah, who knows? There's so much we don't know. We were actually discussing a couple of videos ago. Do you feel that you've had more calls for help since the pandemic?
Oh, hell
Do you
yes.
feel that the energy's changed?
Yes, I was asked pretty much the same question on the Supernatural Radio, on KC Radio down in Melbourne there last Friday. And my answer was quite straightforward and simple. Like, we talk about fear in the paranormal, that if you're fearful, you're feeding the spirit, especially the nasty ones, what they want. Now, when you think about it, every single person on this planet has been literally hammered through media with fear about being vaccinated, non-vaccinated, how many deaths and new cases and everything. And then I look at it and think, all you poor people are stuck at home in lockdown, right? You got nowhere to go. You're here, you're never at home during the day for 8.5 hours, even 12 hours. So you're home this week, come home, have something to go to bed, and get up next morning, same routine. You're not at home listening to the cracks, and so everything's unfamiliar. And all of a sudden you're in lockdown. Things start getting real. You start seeing things. Yeah. You start hearing things. And then, here it comes again. And then all of a sudden, I think, okay, the whole planet at the moment is this one massive fear ball of energy. We're all shitting our pants. We don't know what the next step's going to be, what's going to happen, are we going to come out of anything? And then to me, spirits are once human people too. They once walked and roamed this planet. Some are still stuck in this plane. So could you imagine if you're a spirit now that has maybe been through any sort of trauma in your life, whether it be Chernobyl, whether it be the bubonic plague, World War I, II, that's trauma on anybody. And all of a sudden we're all in this fearful energy on our own due to COVID. Would that also be sparking spirit to be feeling the fear from their former traumas, which is making them come forward more predominantly than anything else? That's how I see it. We all talk about energy. energy can create anything in any element. And I thought, well, who's to say with all the fear that we're creating, we're actually putting fear back into the spirit that is with us all the time and with
Exactly
memories.
right. We manifest it ourselves.
These days are not walking outside due to the
We
earth.
do not want to walk outside.
Thank you, Fairy.
Yeah.
It's different. You can feel it. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Every day you can feel it. You know, it's just very strange how everything works outside. And there is, like, you look at for example, the earthquake in Melbourne. Like, who the fuck would have thought that would have happened in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm mind blown by that. I always said it's obviously Mother Earth is pretty pissed off at the moment, and we're not helping out ourselves, you know.
No.
And so it's yeah, there's a lot of things accumulating together to create what's going on.
Yeah.
I only found out the Lord's Prayer works for me, and no, not religious, spiritual. As soon as I am aware of it, I say to my mind in the second sentence, I can move. Melissa, try it. Yeah, I found it worked for
Good stuff.
me. I was religious growing up, but I'm more spiritual now. Yeah, you felt it. You're in Seymour.
Wow.
Try the Lord's Prayer in your head. When it happens again, it goes away. Or if you're a different religion, I'm not trying to convert you, say a protection prayer that you know, or mantra, or affirmation. When it happens, say one in your head and see if it stops. See if that works. I find with religion, it's just the intent you put in it. It doesn't matter what religion you are. It's the intent and your belief, manifesting it. So
Correct.
And I'd like to say thank you everybody here for watching us. If anybody hasn't subscribed to our YouTube page on the Jason Ghosthunter page, please come and subscribe and check us out on Facebook too. Don't forget to check out Dusty Dawns.
Dusty Dawns.
Dusty Dawns.
I just got to add that one in there. You're bogan, you know.
I just got to break that song, yeah. Delta Dawn, what's that flower? Whatever that thing is. Come on. Oh, Jesus.
Dusty Dawns.
Make sure if you got any questions, guys, please go and like her page, subscribe to it, and just really make sure you'll find heaps.
And if you're ever traveling around in the traps and you come up this way, pop in, come for a tour.
Can't keep my eyes.
No, that's right. We're going to go because we went fairly well. We went an hour and a half or something.
Nearly 2 hours.
Nearly 2, so we went better than what we thought.
You stay there when we go off. So then we'll have a little chat afterwards.
We'll put the link to Dusty Dawes Paranormal Facebook page on Jason Ghosthunter and also under this video. Yep. So keep your eye out, follow it, like it. Keep your eye out for any upcoming tours next year.
Yep.
You might even see us there because we want to go on them too.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have any questions for Michelle at all, please message her via the Facebook page.
And thank you so much, everyone, for listening to my boganness.
No, loved it. Loved the show. It was just, we needed it. We needed a good laugh, because, it's not been much fun and games. As the Melbourneites know, I feel more sorry for them than us. It's just been boring.
Well, once everything opens,
enjoyed it.
And don't forget, guys, stay tuned for next week. We're not going to tell you who it is till after this show, but stay tuned, and we've got another special guest coming on. But but thank everybody for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Share this video to your friends, and thank you very much for watching, everybody.
All right, have a good night. Nice. Hang on.